Peace, much love. Today I'm going to talk, I'm going to talk about how I got my insulin pump, the MiniMed 630G. And because it's been a very requested video and I keep forgetting, and I thought I had it up, but it doesn't seem to be, so I'm going to make this video. I started April, 8 months ago or more now, and I had to ask questions because if you're a type 1 diabetic, your insulin pump is covered through ADP. But if you're a type 2 diabetic like me, I just had blood tests, and so I am definitely a type 2 diabetic. Then sometimes there are those of us like me, others like me, that are type 2 diabetic that need the insulin pump in order to get by. Like right now, my sugars are a little high. I'm 11.2. But I have 10.9 units of active insulin, so that'll bring it down. And my latest blood sugar is my A1C, which is 3 months. It tells you the average of your last 3 months of blood sugars was 6.8. Now, 2 months of that 3 months was while I've been on the insulin pump. I've gone down from a 9.3 to 2.8. I mean 6.8, not 2.8. That's excellent. But back to how I got this pump. I got a sample tester that didn't have the needle or anything from Omnipod, which I believe I have a video on my page that was about that. And I tried that, and in less than 2 hours it fell off. But when I talked to Omnipod, because when I told them I didn't have coverage because I'm not type 1, they didn't have any financing or that options to help with payments, because ODSP will only help with the supplies, not the pump itself, because they say ADP covers it. Everywhere you turn, they say, no, we won't, because ADP covers it. ADP only covers it if you're type 1, not if you're type 2 and you are insulin dependent, which I'm fighting to get it so all type 2s that are insulin dependent have that access. Now, after finding that out, I was like, oh no, woe is me. I'm not going to get the pump. I need a pump. It would change my life, which it has. And I was freaking out. Then someone mentioned to me about the tubed pumps. That's why when I showed you the pump, you would have noticed that it has, it has this tubing that attaches. A couple times it's accidentally pulled out my set. Then I've had to re-put one in. Now, Omnipod, you put the pod on, the pod's got the insulin in it, and you use your PDM to personal diabetic monitor, the little meter thing that also has a blood meter in it, to send how much insulin you get, I believe. Like, it sends to the pod once you put in how many carbs and whatnot. You done your calculations. So I was like, okay. I looked into the tubed one, which is by Medtronic. And this one that I showed you is the MiniMed 630G. If you're type 1 diabetic, there's now coming out, it's approved in Canada, the MiniMed 670G, which is a closed loop system, which I know will help type 1 diabetics. This one here is excellent for me, and maybe I'll be offered the 670G at a later point. It will be available to type 2s, but otherwise having this has been a life changer and really big time and really helped, so that's good. But because I kept getting turned around and told to go to ADP, getting back to how I got my pump, I contacted my local MPP, and they were fighting to help me get my pump, because I had contacted Medtronic and both pumps were about $7,200 for the Medtronic tubed pump, as well as the Omnipod was about $72,000 for the pump itself, and then you get the supplies. But I believe the pods and such for Omnipod weren't covered by ODSP. I think. Don't quote me on that because I didn't go that route. Now, with Medtronic, I got 2 different papers to fill out to prove that I was low income and my financial situation, and they took it from $7,200 down $2,000 to $5,200, and that $5,200 is interest free, and I would have had to pay $108.33 a month, but they wanted a cosigner. I didn't have a cosigner. Then they said, well, if your ODSP worker can send us the money. And I said, well, my ODSP worker, other than sending the rent directly, they're not going to do that. I have a trustee that I voluntarily put myself on trustee. If I sign papers and say that I'm not leaving my trustee and my trustee sends you that payment faithfully every month, can I do it? And they said yes. So that's like my cosigner. Only they're not responsible for it should anything happen. They are responsible for making sure that I can't take away money. I can put extra money, like this past month, this month for November, I sent, instead of sending the check that would be the normal monthly check, I sent which would have been $95.83. I sent them a check for $146. So I sent more than the month's payment, because backtracking a small bit, once I was approved, which this took months, like 6-7 months or so. Once I was approved, I did all my classes and stuff for the pump, my endocrinologist. I had to go to a Living Well with Diabetes class. I had to go to 2 different pump classes. So that was 3 mandatory classes. And then after that, my endocrinologist signed off on prescribing me the pump. And it's not just normal prescription. They have to give what your basal rates and whatnot are going to be. But I got my pump approved, and it was going to be mailed to me in late July. Now, there was a promotion going on. Usually there's promotions, but the promotion at the time that I got the pump was that one of the things was that you could get like $300 to get accessories and stuff on the website, or a box of sensors, which ODSP is covering all my sensors and all my supplies for the pump. So I didn't want that, and I'm going, oh, I know, $300. I called my contact that I'm in touch with, Andrew at Medtronic, said, can I take that $300 and put it towards the $5,200 that I owe for the pump? He said, well, part of the promotion, actually, that he hadn't mentioned to me because he thought there were certain accessories and stuff that I wanted, but I'd rather save and buy the accessories myself, which it ended up that I got some accessories given to me from my Medtronic rep. Now, I'm not sure how that worked. Not all Medtronic reps are going to give you these things free. These things do cost money, and I don't know if it's because I'm paying for my pump that it's not completely covered. I'm not totally sure. I'm not sure if my rep bought them out of her own pocket and then sent them to me and said that they were from Medtronic. The Medtronic takes care of their own. But I'm not going to dig into that. That happened. I'm sorry if people were confused. But back to that. I found out because I didn't want the $300 for that. I wanted to put it towards the pump. It took another $600 off because they said that if I put that towards the pump, it would be doubled. So $600. So I went from owing $5,200 to owing $4,600. And so that now I've gone from, I would have owed $7,200 down to $4,600. And I've paid 1 month at $108.33. That was in August. Then September and October I paid $95.83. And November I paid I'm paying $146. So whatever those four numbers are together, and let me calculate it. So 95.83 times 2 is 191.66 plus 108.33 plus 146. So I've paid $445.99 of 4,600 minus, I have to look at my history, slips my mind quickly, $445.99. So I still owe $4,154.01. I've taken it down, getting close to $600 in 4 months. That's excellent because I have 4 years to pay it off. But if I send extra money, I can pay it off sooner, which is A-okay by me. Now, I enjoy my pump very, very much. I am glad that I fought and went through that process to get it. It's an extremely good thing, and I would highly, highly suggest, if you're a type 2 diabetic and you take multiple injections of insulin, talk to your endocrinologist, talk to your diabetics team. Ask them if they believe an insulin pump would benefit you. Because unless you're on insulin, multiple injections of insulin, an insulin pump would not benefit you. Now, think about it. Because it mimics the pancreas and it's continuously giving you insulin, and then when you bolus, like put in the carbs and get insulin for the amount of carbs that you're eating for a meal, that's working like your pancreas. And because I'm insulin resistant and my body's not doing what it's supposed to, this is the regimen that's helping. And it's getting it under control. And now I just need to tweak my healthy fats and my unhealthy fats. So yeah, that's how I got my pump. If you have any questions and suggestions, or if there was things that helped you get your insulin pump, or if you got an Omnipod insulin pump and you got some kind of help, or you're on the system and you have Omnipod and you're a type 2, or if you're type 1 or you just know how it would work, then please comment down below and let me know. Let me know what you're enjoying. Like this, comment, share, subscribe, click the bell, and please, please enjoy. Much love. Peace out.